This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas. Magazine publisher and entrepreneur Judith Mancini is sharing captivating conversations with experts in their field about the latest trends in our ever-changing world to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Judith Mancini today will spark your interest and inspire you to lead your best life ever. And now, here's Judith.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for joining Judith Mancini today. Well, the countdown has begun. The countdown has begun, and it's the end of an era. I can't even remember what I wrote myself. The end of an era and the beginning of something new. But I'm kind of sad that I'm ending my show after more than 10 years. And I've gotten so many nice comments about that. Thank you all very much. And thank you all for joining in and listening to Judith Mancini today. I hope you have learned something about being healthy, wealthy, and wise. I've given you lots of tips. And today, later on, I have a guest who's going to give you some more tips for your business and your life. And she's a very good friend of mine, and I'm so excited. I haven't seen her for a long time, so this is a really nice thing for me. Have you been watching the news? Everybody has gone crazy. Look at these guys putting fire to the Tesla showroom, shooting in the windows, setting other people's Teslas on fire, burning down the charging stations. What is wrong with these people? These people wanted electric cars. They were so thrilled. The only reason they're not thrilled now is because they hate President Trump. But why should they hate President Trump? I don't. I'm happy about him. Those are my two superstars, by the way, President Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk. They have done, in my opinion, more for our country in the first month, several days more than that, than has been done forever. I am appalled at the fact that we don't even know who is running this country before we had the presidential election. We found out that President Biden had signed all these executive orders and different bills, but an auto pen was used to sign them. And that's okay. That goes way back to George Washington, had some kind of finagled thing that he invented to sign all the papers he had to sign when we founded the country. I've never seen an auto pen. I don't know what it is. Maybe our guest can tell me. I don't know, or maybe Juan can tell us. It's beyond me. It wouldn't be illegal if he had read these things, but apparently he wasn't even in the room or had read them before when somebody was signing his name to them. Now that is just absolutely horrible. So I'm upset about that. Some of these things can't possibly be put into action for them because they were illegal. What a mess. And then there's our economy. Well, President Trump inherited that. You can go back to his first term and you can say whatever you will about it, but we've been falling down for a long, long time. Now, what are we going to do? We're trying to cut the government expenses, and Elon Musk is being targeted because he's a buddy of President Trump, and yet He is cutting the expenses of the country. I believe him when he says that if we don't do something, we will go bankrupt. We'll have no country, no finances holding us up. Isn't that a little strange for our country, who is a leader in the world? We're not the big leader in the world now. We think we are, and we're trying to be, but we're in a mess, and it does worry me. And I guess it worries me more than I think, because I didn't sleep a wink last night. How about the Board of Education? President Trump is getting rid of the National Department for the Education System. And I, for one, am for this. He's turning it back to the states. And people that are opposed to it are saying, well, this is going to cost us more money. I don't quite understand that. There's a big fund in this education department that something has to be done with it. And the states have to raise more money to support these schools. All the schools are not totally supported by the national government. The states pay a lot of money for this, and they keep raising the teachers' salaries, which I'm in favor of, but they have to be more financially responsible. The whole country does. What does this say to our citizens when they look at this mess of ours, and we're supposed to look up to the government, and then we get in trouble for not managing our finances? Kind of crazy. How do you explain that to students in school? Well, I, for one, am for students being separate from the national government, and I'm glad that's going back to the state. I hope they get rid of some of the ridiculous stuff they've put in schools. The new math is one of them. I remember sitting down with my grandson, my oldest grandson, who is 19 now. 18, 19, he'll be 19. I have to stop and count. Maybe I need to go back to school. So this new math, I couldn't understand it at all. Why did they have to change the new math? I mean, the math to the new math. It's just crazy. And I don't think that they're being taught civics in school like we used to be. There's a lot of things wrong with it. So let's see what's going to happen. See, that's one thing. We chop off our English language and say gonna instead of going to. What is happening? I would like to see these kids learn how to read. They can't even be on the internet if they can't read. Okay, well, enough of the education is in a mess. We're the last one on the list. And our students in reading and writing are the last ones on the list. For all the money that we spend per pupil, per student, we are at the bottom of the list. Now, that's not to say that every child in the United States gets a rotten education, because we know they don't. Our guest has a son, and I know he's very brilliant, like his mother. My kids were very successful, and they got a great education. But where we lived, I had to put them in private school so that they would get an education. I went to public schools, and I had a great education. And it was in a little place called Gardena, California. And some of my friends from there listening to the podcast. So, hi, alumni from Gardena. The other thing is that has happened is the spacecraft came back. Elon Musk, once again, saved people. He's done this with Starlink when they didn't have any cell phone service, and he's done it in various parts of the world. He's done so many wonderful things where he's donated his time and money and his company to save people. Well, I watched I was fortunate to be home, and I watched the rescue ship go up and launch and begin its voyage to rescue these astronauts. And then I was lucky enough to watch the return home and how it came down into the Gulf of America. What did you tell me to call it, Juan? Gulf of America is something else? Did you say Gulf of America? Da-da-da? I guess not. Okay, so it came down. It was a sight to behold as it came down. And when it finally got into the atmosphere, it put on the gold of America. The reporter said gold of America instead of Gulf of America. And what a good thing to say, because it truly is. Oh, Gulf, the Gulf of America. Okay. You say G-O-L-F instead of Gulf, G-U-L-F. Well, maybe that reporter didn't get a good education. What can I say? Autocorrect. I love being on the laptop and on the internet with Juan as I do my podcast. He helps me all the time. Okay, so it came down. If you haven't seen it, try to see a rerun of it. I'm sure you can find it on the internet. And it was a sight to behold. It was supposed to settle down on its return at precisely 57 minutes after the hour. And by golly, by gosh, it did. 57 minutes after the hour. And these beautiful parachutes came out. This was like a Hollywood production. This was so beautiful. The Gulf had totally flat water in it. No big waves, no big wind blowing or anything else. It was really spectacular. And then we were lucky to see a school, or a pod, I should say, of dolphins come to greet it. Now, we know that Hollywood couldn't arrange that. So here come these dolphins. They're so curious and they're so intelligent, and they talk, and people can understand them as they communicate with each other. Look that up on the internet also, okay? Because it is really quite something to see. And if you have children at home and you can find it on the internet, I urge you to let them watch it, because this is just spectacular. Okay, let me see. Do I have one other thing to say? Oh, what do you think about the Statue of Liberty? Should we send it back? I don't think so. We've been taking care of it all these years. And it's our statue. It was a gift. We shouldn't have to return a gift. So let's keep the Statue of Liberty. If you take a trip to New York, you should go out to see it. When I was there in New York and we wanted to go see it, but it was shut down for some reason, polishing it or something. And so no boats were allowed to go, and you weren't allowed to step on the island. So I didn't get to climb to the top. I didn't get to even step on the island. So if you go to New York, go do that. That's one thing that you should go see. And it is beautiful. So now I want to bring on my guest and my good friend. Her name is Jessica Joy Reveles. And we bring her on right now, Juan. We're going to talk about her businesses. Hi, Jessica Joy.
Hi, Judith. Good morning.
Good
Great to be on the
morning.
show.
Thank you. It's great to have you here. Jessica Joy and I haven't seen each other for a couple years. Yeah. We both met through eWomen, and this is why I talk about eWomen all the time. It's for business women and men now. We've allowed men to come into eWomen, eMen, and they call them emails. Isn't that cute?
I love it. I love that. I always love that.
Yeah. So we have all kinds of businesses in there. Me with my podcasting, me with my skincare company, and I don't know what I was doing when I first joined, but I was one of the original members of the Calabasas group. And I think you were one of the very first members also, weren't you?
Yes, yes. That was many years ago before COVID.
Yeah, it was over 10 years ago, I think.
You're right. Yeah, because I had just started my business and my marketing agency, and I wasn't even an agency. I was a social media freelancer, and I had just started out with that that same year. I think it was 2016.
I think you're right because I was doing a different show. I wasn't doing Judith Mancini today. I joined when they had their very first meeting, and I think I was just doing the end of a show with a co-host. So yeah, we've been in there a long time and we've made a lot of great business connections. But what I also love about eWomen is we have actually made lifetime friends.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's fun. I even know Jessica Joy's son, who's a sophomore in high school. And I met him when he was in elementary school.
That's right. Yeah,
So,
he would have been 6 or 7 years old.
right. Wow, we go back a long time. That's good. So we're going to talk about two of your, excuse me, I have something tickling me. The dust here is terrible. We have winds going crazy in the desert now. We're going to talk about her three companies, but we're going to concentrate on two of them. Why don't you tell everybody what the name of your companies are and the two we're going to talk about?
Yes, absolutely. So I run a full service digital marketing agency called J Squared Communications. And we specialize in SEO, copywriting, social media, email marketing, and many other things because we're full service. So we do advertising and PR as well. And that company is kind of like the mothership, I call it. And then under that, we have Lightbulb Moments Press, which is a new independent publisher of books by women and people of color. And we do nonfiction, creative nonfiction, and then we have a separate press that does the children's books. So it's very exciting. It's my life's work. I feel like this is what I was born to do. I've always wanted to do since I was probably 8 years old.
Wow, you are
Yeah.
a determined person. Well, I don't think that's so strange, actually, that people do make decisions like that when they're growing up and they get this thing in their head. Because when I was around the same age as you just said, I lived in Windsor Hills here in the Los Angeles area, and I was raised by grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
I went around, I did my own little newsletter, and I would interview my neighbors, and then I'd go write up an article on them, and then I'd go distribute the newsletter, and people would pay me 10 cents or something back in that time for my newsletter.
Oh, I love that.
Here I am podcasting and doing things like that. So
yeah, very similar. That's so funny.
Very similar. Does August have any desires like that?
He does. Actually, he is involved in the agriculture department, so he manages some of the animals there. He's also involved in ROTC, junior ROTC.
Wow.
So he's thinking maybe about going into the Army. And then he's also part of a program called AVID, which is helps prepare kids for college. So he does research on different colleges that he's thinking about, and he's not sure if he wants to go into the Army right away or go into agriculture as a specialist and maybe go to UC Davis. He also has a passion for baking, so he might be an entrepreneur as well. We'll see.
UC Davis is one of the most outstanding schools for agriculture and
Mhm.
farm animals,
Yes.
husbandry with the cows and the pigs in it. It's an excellent school. I don't see
Mhm.
why it wouldn't get in. And
Veterinary programs.
veterinary, yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
UC Davis is in California for those of you who are back east, and it's just an excellent school. So, well, I have to keep track of what he's doing. So,
Oh my gosh, Judith, you wouldn't believe it if you saw him today. And at some point soon, we'll have to get together so you can actually see him and squeeze him. He's taller than me. He's a head taller than me.
well, I couldn't tell that on the internet the other day
Oh
when
yeah.
talking. I couldn't see how tall he was or anything, but he sure is a handsome guy.
Oh, thank you. He is. He is. And he's wears, men's clothes and men's shoes. And it's just wild. It's really wild. I remember the day that he grew out of the children's department clothes, and I was so heartbroken.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, okay, moving on. I could talk about August forever and
I
ever.
know, me too.
Uh, Jessica Joy used to have to, she's from Orange County, which is quite far away from Calabasas. And so she would come up for the meetings and she would have to get an Uber to bring August up to the meetings. And he would sit through the end of the meeting and have lunch with us and all. Do you
That's
remember
right.
that?
That's
Yeah,
right. He
yeah.
was so well behaved, and
Oh my gosh, yes.
I would pack him snacks and to do like coloring books, and sometimes he would do his homework, and he just was happy and content there. And there were several women that would come and talk to him, but everybody knew him when he was, like I said, about 6 or 7 years old.
Right, right. Yeah, we all love August. Well, he has a good mama, so there you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about first. Let's talk about J squared.
So J Squared, it's like I said, I started out doing social media management for small businesses, mostly women-owned small businesses. And it's been now 9 years that I've been running this business. So next year will be our 10-year celebration anniversary. So I'm excited for that. And we've grown to a team of 4 in all different parts of the world:
Wow,
Philippines, Spain, and Los Angeles. And then I'm in Orange County. We all work remotely. Some of our staff I haven't even met in person because they live on the other side of the world. And we're just a close-knit team. We're full service. So we do social, email, web, blog, SEO, advertising, all of those things. And the idea now is that I had started the indie press so that I could, under the umbrella of J Squared, because it's communications, so that we could bring in authors, help them write, edit, and publish their books. And I do ghostwriting because I'm a writer by trade. I'm a copywriter in marketing. And we then, after they publish their books, we move them over to the agency and promote the work through all those different channels that I mentioned.
let me ask you: do you design websites?
I do. Yes, I'm actually working on a couple websites right now.
Well, you might have to be working on one for me, since
Okay.
I'm kind of retiring from one thing, moving into another. But
Yeah.
I looked at it this morning because I wanted to see what you had up there, and also I could talk to you about it, of course. And the pages are beautiful,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
absolutely beautiful. I was very impressed,
Oh, thank you,
because I
Judith.
hadn't looked at it for a long time.
It's been, yeah, it would have been a long time. So we've done upgrades to it, and
I'm sure,
yeah.
yeah, it looks quite a bit different from how it started out, which was excellent back then too.
Yeah. Well, there's more tools now, and I don't know if you want to get into a conversation about AI, but there's a lot of
Oh
AI.
my God. Yes, let's talk about AI. Are you using
Yeah,
AI
absolutely.
now?
You know what's funny? I've been using AI for probably 7 years, way before it became mainstream, because if you think about it, think about Netflix is you type in what you like to watch, and then it starts to get smart about providing you recommendations for other things that you might like. So that's AI. I was using some SEO tools, writing tools for like grammar checking and spelling, also for to determine the reading level of a piece of work. So we would write blogs, and at that time, AI wasn't writing any blogs or anything like that, but the tools were there to actually help enhance the writing through determining the reading level. Is it too high of a reading level? Is it too low or right in the middle? And just the tone and personality of the writing as well. So I have been using AI for a really long time, and now I use it for research, brainstorming, sometimes fact checking, and sometimes composition. There's a tool that I use called Jasper, and it writes with you. So you write a paragraph, and then it kind of responds and continues the blog or the story or the email, whatever you're writing. And then you write a little more, and it'll continue to get smart about the writing and respond to you.
Now, would you consider Chat GP as AI?
Yes. That's now the mainstream AI that most people are familiar with is Chat GPT.
Well, I joined that when it first came out, and
Good.
yeah, for me, it was good just to be able to join it. I haven't used it for anything because I don't totally understand it. But I thought, yeah, I need to get out there. It's difficult for me to be able to put everything into AI. For instance, now that I'm not going to be podcasting, I thought I'd do a bit of a what do you call them? Newsletter. I'm not sure my brain will even do a newsletter if I can't remember the word newsletter. Oh, crazy. So I thought maybe I should use Chat GP.
Yeah, I
GPT.
think
What is it? GPT or
GPT. Yeah, and I could teach you a lot of things, Judith, that you could do that would make your life more seamless and easier and faster. So you can do it, and anybody can do it. It's not.
I'm
It's not.
glad to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. You just need a couple little tricks, and then you know how to use it, and you can start thinking outside the box of how to use it differently, to come up with all kinds of content.
Wow. Wow. Okay. We're going to get going here on these things.
Yeah, there's
So,
actually, oh, I'm sorry. If I
no,
could
go
just say
ahead.
one thing, there's actually now a tool that I'm using for manuscripts that reads through and it assesses the manuscript, and it will tell you, it breaks it down chapter by chapter, a summary of each chapter and
Wow.
kind of the main idea, and it'll point out if there's problems in the writing or holes in the story, and all of these cool things. And then it creates what I call a book Bible, which is essentially a summary of your manuscript, as well as notes and things like that that you can take and go through your manuscript and go through and start to correct some of those things.
So, that's on my list of things I want to do is write a book. But basically, I wanted to write a book because I want to leave it to my grandchildren.
Oh, I love
So
that.
they know what I've done in my life and
Absolutely.
some of the struggles I've had, some of the successes I've had, and obviously how much I love them, all four of them. And, just something like that. I've toyed with leaving a video to them, but I don't know. Maybe that's better because you can change it all the time. As I'm not getting ready to leave the earth yet. So I don't know. So we can talk about that too. But now, when you're using AI to write your book, do you actually put things into it so that it will sound like the author? Or in your text, you have to send them a text, right?
Yeah, so
I
you
mean, a
have to
text, not
do
like a
a
phone
prompt,
text.
right? It's called a prompt,
A
and
prompt.
prompt
Okay.
engineering is the new thing where AI, people think, oh, AI is going to take my job. And in some industries, there are AI robots that have taken on different automatics, automatic skills and things and tasks. But with AI in copywriting and in marketing, it's not AI that will take the job from you. It's the people who know how to use the prompts to direct AI to do the things that you want it to do. So there's a lot out there, but if you become savvy at it, then you protect your job essentially.
That's fascinating to me. What industries do you think AI will take over for people? Will they actually?
You
I mean,
know,
it's
I
not
think
like in grocery stores we have like practically robots where Amazon started that Amazon Fresh store, and they haven't been successful at it.
yeah, that's true. And I think anything that has automation capabilities, so anything with an assembly line is probably going to go to robots and AI. I've even read of certain fast food restaurants that have AI, that have robots that will put the ketchup and the different things on the hamburger all the way down the line.
Whoops. One.
And it takes of
Wait. Time out. We seem to be having, um,
oh, there we, I'm so,
yeah, your
I'm not
internet
sure
is
what,
going in and out right now for some reason.
okay, that was really strange. I'm so sorry.
But
Yeah,
I have
so
strange things happen to me all the time.
you never know with technology, and that's the thing, that there you go. The human touch is something that can't be replicated. And even in the books, like you were talking about, when we don't use AI to write the book, we use it to enhance the story, enhance the
Uh-huh.
style, do the research for us so that, we're not spending months and months writing a book because we have to do the research for it. We can do it within a matter of minutes, hours, and days, and get that under control so that you can then layer your story in over it.
It's fascinating to me. So let's walk through. I have an idea to write my book, and what am I going to have to give you to get started?
It's a great question. So some people will come in and they have a manuscript, a rough draft already. Some people come in and they just have an outline or an idea.
Mhm.
So, well, like in your case, if you have some kind of idea that you want to leave this legacy for your grandchildren, then we would go through and make an outline of your life. And each chapter would we would assign each chapter to a chapter in your life or an event in your life that happened. And then I will go through and interview you and prompt you to then to give you prompts to be able to answer. And then I go in as the ghostwriter and I go through the writing and build it out a little bit more. Do the all the different editing. There's like 5 different layers of editing that we do. So everything from developmental editing, which is the big picture, to copy editing, which is just the fine tuning spelling and grammar and things like that, and everything in between. So we take that outline and we develop it. And then we go through the editing process. We get you an ISBN number, which allows you to sell the book and put it up on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all these other places, Goodreads and things like that.
Time out.
Uh-huh.
When you're talking about putting them up on Barnes and Noble and Amazon and et cetera, have you actually made a physical copy of it so that they
Yes.
can get a
Yes.
soft or hard? And who do you use to do that?
I use
Yeah.
Ingram Spark. Ingram Spark is very well known and respected in the publishing industry. So they're kind of like the top best in class. So our press is different, whereas we're a hybrid press. So we do print on demand, which wastes less paper because the book industry is very wasteful. And so people just purchase however many books they'd like. However, for the author, we buy a bulk package of books for the author to be able to distribute themselves, or be able to get a discount on their bulk orders. But we do provide those books so that you could send them out and get reviews and things like that.
And who does the artwork or something for the cover?
Oh, I have a wonderful graphic designer that just does book covers. That's what she specializes in. Her name is Jamie, and she does a fantastic job. And then we have some illustrators that I found for the children's book through a very good friend of mine that I met through the chamber and the Chamber of Commerce locally. And she has these two neighbors, and they're both artists. They do, one of them does children's books, the other one does a little bit kind of like more a little bit darker art. So the children's book illustrator, that's who we use for those. And I have a children's book coming out this year.
Oh, you do? Great. What is it?
I do. It's called The Metro is for Everyone.
Metro?
The Metro is for Everyone.
You mean the metro you ride on?
Uh-huh. So the whole book is about making the metro more accessible to everybody. And it's going to, it does talk about all different people of all walks of life taking the public transit and the metro to get to all these different destinations. So I started it out as a poem, and then it became a book, a short manuscript.
You are amazing to me. Now, does the metro go all the way from Los Angeles down to Orange County where you live?
Oh, yes. It goes from Santa Barbara to San Diego.
The metro does?
All the way, and everything in between.
Are we talking about a train or the metro that goes on the special tracks?
The train and the metro that's on a special track.
Oh, so the combination goes to Santa Barbara. That's where my daughter lives.
Right.
Like Goleta.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I
know where that is.
Yeah, that's where the university is, up there. Don't let August go up there. He'll turn into a surfer dude.
Oh, no. We don't want that.
No. So let me ask you this. Give me a price point from beginning to end for a book, but I don't want to have you nail down a price, but the lowest to the highest cost, including everything that you do to get a book published and on Amazon and the copies for the author. Just if it's $50,000 or $2 or whatever it is, give us a kind of a range of price points what you can do to get started here.
The industry average, there's a big gap. So it ranges anywhere between, like, on the very low end, $6,500 all the way up to $50,000 and plus. But our press comes in a little bit, in the middle. So a little bit on the lower end, where it would be, I would say the range would be more like $15,000 to $30,000. and it includes book coaching, one-on-one with me every other week, and then a number of other things like a book trailer and a book tour, a mini book tour locally, and the ISBN and the formatting and the book cover and all of those things.
Wow, it just takes care of everything. Are you gone again? Okay, we're having a little trouble with internet or something, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That is just how you got into this part of your business because of your writing.
Yeah, because of my writing, I went to USC for creative writing specifically, and I got my bachelor's and my undergrad in English and creative writing. And I've always, like I said, since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to write books. And then as I got older and then started this company, this marketing company, I realized this could be a means for me to get to that point of being a publisher and an author.
I so admire you. You're just a go-getter and so creative, and you're amazing to me. Amazing.
Thank you, Judith. You're pretty amazing yourself. I've always admired you. I've always looked up to you.
Well, thank you. We've had a nice relationship in our friendship for quite a while.
We have.
Now, I'm going to tell a secret. Jessica Joy used to have these wonderful meetings for her people she knew from the different networking groups and all, like eWomen and all. And she joined this marvelous club in downtown Los Angeles. What was the name of it?
Los Angeles City Club.
Okay, there we go. And she would tell us what's going on, and she'd make presentations to us and all. And then she would serve us lunch, but she'd also serve us champagne. You remember that?
That's right. Because
those were the best meetings.
Yeah, we had champagne, we had mimosas. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, those were fun meetings. And you always learned a lot. That was really good, as well as, excuse me, the little bit of networking that we did with the people that were there also.
Right.
Everybody would come. They loved to go to her meetings because they were fascinating people. I remember there was one, well, there were realtors, there were me with my podcasting, just different things, people trying to do websites. Excuse me. And there was a shoe designer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fascinating, really fascinating. I love those. Do you still do those kind of meetings?
You know, I want to bring them back. I've been thinking on it for a couple years now about how to bring that environment back together under a moniker called She's the Boss. And that would be, those would be those type of meetings where we'd have like a business speaker talk on a expert topic, and then have also networking, food, and then vendors, you know, people with their businesses that have physical products to sell, are authors, of course, with the books, fashion designers, and I've done it before. So I've thought about bringing that back for a little while.
Good idea. Good idea. Well, this has been fascinating. So the two businesses that you've been talking about have sort of merged together. But now, what is your third business?
So the third one is just purely SEO, search engine optimization, and that is helping businesses rank higher in search, so that when you do a search on Google, your business comes up in the first page results. Because if you think about it, nobody goes to the second page of Google.
No, they don't. Sometimes they don't go to the second one down on the list.
Exactly.
So how do you help somebody with that? Do you give them ideas of what they should be talking about, or how exactly do you do that?
A lot of it is through blogs and creating blog posts that incorporate the keywords related to that business and that industry. So, for example, if you have beauty company or skincare company, we want to use terms related to what people are searching for: anti-wrinkle cream, that sort of thing.
Erase the wrinkles.
Erase wrinkle. Yeah, exactly. So we use those keywords in the blog post and on the website, and that's the front end, that's the customer facing side. And then behind the curtain you have the technical SEO, which is all the programming in the back end of the website. So we do all of that.
My gosh, you just do so many different things and do them so well. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Well,
I love what I do.
I can tell you do, but you're so excellent at it also. I mean, some people love their business, but they're not great, It's just the way of the world. But you have, you only had the one thing before when you first started. Of course,
That's
that makes
right.
sense. But you have just expanded it with all these really marvelous, valuable services and talent, and it's just amazing. What countries are these other people in that you have working for you?
The Philippines and Spain, and then we had a woman that was working in England, and then she moved to Spain, so we had another person in Spain, and then Orange County and Los Angeles. I have yet to get someone on the East Coast, although I do have a lot of friends that have moved over to the East Coast, and friends from women that have moved all over to Texas and Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right.
Yeah.
So that to me is just amazing, and so many people are going to the Philippines to get
Or
assistance.
Thailand is another one.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Well, that is going to wrap it up for us today for sure. This has just been a light bulb moment for me. Just amazing things you're doing. I'm so glad I gave you a call because I miss you, number one, and miss others too. But I really do miss you. We've always had a lot of fun together, but I've always learned a lot. I don't know that you've learned anything from me, but it's just been fun, and I really appreciate it. And I thank you so much for coming on the show at the last minute, but I wanted to get you in there. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but my schedule is kind of goofy right now. My husband isn't very well, so that's one of the reasons I'm quitting podcasting. For a while, who knows, I might come back. So that's about it for today. I thank you so much for coming on. He's going to put you backstage again, and then I'll wrap it up, and then we'll say goodbye to each other.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, Judith.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, I am stopping podcasting. My last show will be next week. I'm very sad about it, but I know that good things are coming too. But I just want to put in a couple words. We have the best owner of this company ever. He has been so gracious and generous to me and has always helped me. I had to leave once before because we were going to start a radio station, but my co-host did me bad. And so that didn't work out. And I called Dean and I said, can I come back? Can I come back? And of course he said yes. And also when I first started out with Dean, he's in the East Coast in Florida. He's from the West Coast, coincidentally, where I lived for the last few years. And he knew the area well. And he went and opened a studio just for me because I was his first podcast out here. This is the kind of man he is. So if you want to get into podcasting, I say go for talk4media.com. Look it up. Tell Dean I sent you. Or don't tell Dean I sent you, whatever. I'm not getting anything for this except gratitude. gratitude. It's been just a wonderful thing with him, and I'll talk about him on next week's show also. And I have to say, they have the very best engineers I've ever seen before, and Juan is one of them. And I'm so happy that I have him for my engineer. And we've had a great time together talking, and look what he does for me. He tells me what's in the news. He does all sorts of wonderful things for me. So I'm going to miss these people very, very much. And with that, I will say goodbye. But next week, I am having Jeff Bonilla and Georgie Donovan on, and perhaps Charles. I don't know about him yet. And they are the ones who are so creative and write music and books and sing and dance and do all of these things. And they talk about aliens and drones and all sorts of things. So that will be fun. And I'll say my final goodbye then. But for today, remember, cherish yesterday, dream tomorrow, and live today. Thank you.